Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the event of the year. It is the 2023 Domeys Award, the fifth annual Domeys Award. It is always an honor to be here with you, Adrian. Thank you for joining me once again for a half decade of Domeys. What a beautiful thing to say.
Unbelievable, man. The fifth annual Domeys Awards. Yes, a spectacular evening indeed. It is, as always, a pleasure and honor to be here. It is a very festive night, calls for immense celebration. And we were looking back at the roots of this whole Domeys thing as we were trying to do the math and figure out if it was, in fact, five annual Domey Awards. It is. And what started off as a decade in review in 2019 that we just came up with a fun name for has now turned into the annual popular vote official, unofficial UTSA athletics award show.
Yeah,
And
if you're
so,
unfamiliar with Domeys, if this is your first Domeys, the way that it works is Adrian and I take editorial privilege of putting together the nominees.
mhm,
Sometimes we'll consult with some trusted UTSA diehards to get some, tiebreakers in and stuff like that, get some off the record nominations.
yes,
So we put together the voting list. We get the four nominees for each category. We pick the categories. Categories change a little bit every year. Um, like we don't have alum of the year this year, and that's just because we didn't have a very strong group of nominations. I couldn't even find a fourth one that I thought was fitting. So I said let's put on the bench for a year and let's come back in the 2024 Domies and we're gonna have even more stellar alumni to choose from. So we mix it up, but once we got that voting form, we sent it out. Anyone could vote on it. We had 96 votes this year, which is a little bit down for us. We've been clearing 100 past few years.
mm,
But still great to see the community outreach, getting people engaged, making their voices heard. We come back and we tally these votes, and we don't adjust anything. What the people have to say is what we're going to respect, what we're going to honor, because ultimately, this is the Dome Heads ballot. It is their award. We just put the nominees on there. Even though I think Adrian and I disagree with some of the winners this year,
mm.
we'll certainly present our argument for who we voted for personally. But it's important to respect the integrity of the Domies and ensure that the fan base's voices, opinions shine through.
That's right. That is correct. That is correct. We do not always agree with the popular vote, but it is
Hell, we don't agree
indeed,
with each other a lot of time.
but it is indeed a popular vote award. And so it's always in your hands, the audience's hands, to decide who the Domey winners are each and every single season, or every single year, I should say. It's based off of the calendar year, not the academic year, the
Right.
previous calendar year. So you're going to have, the Olympics sports, the spring sports from the previous academic year, and then you have the
Mhm.
football season essentially from the current. So that's sort of how we break it down and categorize things. It's up to you to make the votes. We've got a really good ballot this year. We're excited to bring it to you. Jared, gosh, and I gotta say, just in general, overall, the 2023 calendar year, I think, and it's weird because we've said this for a couple of Domies now in a row, but perhaps one of the best in UTSA athletics history whenever you look at the success of the baseball program,
Mhm.
again, the success of the football program. And then you had the come up of a lot of programs underneath. You look at men's tennis, who had been
Mhm.
sort of climbing through the rankings and now kind of got to their coming out, their top of the hill moment.
Right.
And just a great year all around. Again, for UTSA athletics are continuing to get better across the board.
Yeah, definitely a very strong, well-rounded year for UTSA athletics. And I think too, it's easy for us to lose track because I think we've gotten spoiled by the success. But those that have been fans and have, long-time alumni and all of that, if we'd have been doing this back in, 2015, 2016, it'd have been pretty bleak. There were not a lot of big wins to point to. Not many facilities being built, not a lot of academic achievements to point to. It was more
Mhm.
slow, incremental stuff. Whereas nowadays, sometimes it's hard to narrow down these to four because there's so many athletes, there's so many teams, so many moments that are deserving of recognition. Um, So, 2023, it may not have some of the high flying fireworks of 2021 and 2022, but all around a really strong year. And it was a lot of fun to do this, as it always is. I guess
Absolutely.
before we go to the nominations, we should say if it's your first time, we do video for this. So
Mm,
hopefully you're seeing Adrian and I sporting our San Antonio tuxedos, both
yes.
rocking Alamo Audible Store hats. I've got the exclusive Fiesta Los Correcaminos line. Adrian with the trucker hat, the rope hat. This
Yes,
one's not
indeed.
available. It's seasonal
Well,
only
it's not available right now, but it
right
is
now.
seasonal and it might be coming available soon for, a celebration, a
Right.
citywide celebration, if you guys can get the hint there.
Of
And
course.
so, yes, the Banditos line, and Jared's got, the fantastic green undervisor on his snapback. I really do think the snapback model that we have on the store line, Jared, is, God, for lack of a better term, it really is a perfect snapback. It's got the green undervisor, the high crown, sits really nicely on the head. It's comfortable. And then the dad hat in the exact same styles for our
Mhm.
Los Camino stuff. I've got the Banditos trucker. If you're looking to cool off the back a little bit. I know a lot of us like that on the hot days. Um, so yes, indeed, check it out. Check it out, Jared. We of course are brought to you always by the Alamo Audible Fan Shop. So do your UTSA shopping at the Alamo Audible Fan Shop.
I wasn't necessarily expecting this to turn into an ad read for our own store. And now I feel guilty because we're going to go into another ad read. But bear with us. We'll get right back into these nominees and then do our Patreon shout outs at the end. But we want to say thank you to Artisan Vapor CBD, who is sponsoring not only this episode, the prestigious Domeys. I don't know if they've realized that they had the honor of sponsoring the
Wow.
Domeys. That's a big
Yeah,
deal.
huge.
But also sponsoring all of our podcasts throughout the month of February. You can find their banner ads on our website. Adrian, you want to tell the folks a little bit about our partners at Artisan Vapor CBD?
I mean, Artisan Vapor CBD is the place to get everything that you need whenever it comes to the world of vapes, of Delta products, of CBD, and really anything that you need. Don't forget the Kratom. Artisan has it all. And so, whether you're looking for disposable or you've got a whole rig set up and you're looking to change out a couple of parts or refill your vape tank, everything is going to be at Artisan Vapor. They support the podcast. So you should support them. They've got 2 locations right next to campus there on the north side. So go check them out. And man, Jared, I here on the Domeys night, a festive night, a night that calls for celebration. I mean, gosh, I wouldn't mind a couple of puffs of a little smoke myself,
There you go.
Yeah, to go along with my short glass Aladome Audible glass. That's a
Hey.
throwback. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
yeah,
can't sell those anymore,
no,
unfortunately.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's how long the Domies have been around. We've been rocking them through a couple of different podcast names now, and it's pretty incredible to now actually have a sponsor on the Domies now as well. And so,
Hey,
yeah,
we're already planning the
continue to grow.
2024 Domies. If you or your business want to sponsor it, hit us up. Let's talk.
Yes, we are here, and the Domies are a magnificent episode to sponsor. So we appreciate all the support. We really do from everybody.
Yeah, maybe we should have mentioned that at the top. This is a year-round occurrence for us. All year long, we're tracking and putting stuff on the nomination sheet, tracking the memes. Which I don't know if I didn't do a good job of keeping track of those. If the people didn't do a good enough job creating the memes, or if listeners didn't do a good enough job nominating memes, because you can always tweet at us and nominate for Domey. We didn't get a whole lot of nominations this year. So, we used to have a separate ballot just for the memes because we would get 20 meme nominations and we had to narrow those down. We had a stretch to get 4 this year. So let's all bounce back. All of us commit to meme creation, to trolling, and
Mm,
let's come back strong in 2024.
yeah, yeah, absolutely,
All
absolutely
right,
great.
Adrian. Well, shall we get into it? Best moment of 2023. First up, our first nomination, UTSA baseball, tremendous season. Plenty of nominations from the baseball team. Unfortunately, snubbed from a trip to a regional, but one of the most successful seasons of program history. Uh, Probably the biggest highlight and what is actually nominated for the Domey is baseball earning their first top 25 ranking in program history. Such a fun season to follow along, and also knowing it's only going up from here is also really exciting.
Just an incredible year, man. This was my personal vote. I know it
Mm,
falls short for a few people on the ballot because we had a sputtering end to
right.
UTSA baseball's year with just an ugly showing.
Hmm.
So you really can't put it any other way in the Conference USA tournament, but that shouldn't damper how incredible the season was. I think as much as it has in fan perception, and it's unfair. But this was a great, great season. I think when UTSA got their top 25 ranking, you had so many fantastic moments from this season. You sweep Rice at home. You knock off some absolute powerhouses, Texas A&M most namely. It's just so many different times throughout this year where you were really proud of this baseball team. They fought incredibly hard. It was a tough way to go out at the end,
Hmm.
but I really really enjoyed the ride that this team went on. And it's just a team that continues to get better and get better. Looking forward to 2024.
Hmm. Our next nomination, obviously, this is going to be the heavy favorite. Anything football related is going to be the betting favorite. I don't know if people do betting lines on the Domies like they do for the Oscars, but obviously, winning the first bowl game in football history, something we'll always remember. 20, 30 years from now, we'll be doing this podcast as old men, and we'll be thinking back to when Owen McCowan led the charge, came back from what was it, a three-score deficit against Marshall, led the team to victory in Frisco.
It was unbelievable, man. It was a great, great moment, especially because of the Owen McGowan narrative coming
Mhm.
in as an unexpected starter, right? No one knew that was happening. UTSA kept the greatest secret in San Antonio history, I think Jeff Traylor called it.
Yeah.
And Owen absolutely played tremendous football. And we decisively beat a Marshall team that was going through some stuff. And I understand, but you take the greatest, or I'm sorry, you take the first bowl win as one of those greatest moments of program history, and it lives no matter what. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, well said. And I think another narrative from that game that probably didn't get enough I guess radio play, if you will, is Trey Moore enters the transfer portal. Big question mark about the team's ability to get after the passer, create pocket pressure, and probably the best pocket pressure that UTSA got all season long without Trey Moore. And it was by committee. It wasn't just one guy in the backfield every play, and it was a solid Marshall offensive line. They had some losses, some guy, a lot of guys in the portal for Marshall, but their offensive line was intact, and UTSA just feasted on them. So that was great to see as well.
Yeah, definitely so. And it was a moment that was long overdue for the Roadrunners program, man. Everyone knew that we had that monkey on our back, hadn't
Hmm.
won a bowl game yet. And so there's a lot of time and waiting and patience from Roadrunners fans and a lot of despair along the way to finally capturing that first bowl win. And so a very vindicative whenever you finally get it. That's special. That's really, really special.
Our third nominee is the Park West Fieldhouse opening up. This is a stellar facility for the softball and track and field teams. This was about a decade overdue. I mean, I remember when I was a student in school and they were talking about Park West opening up and all those teams were going to be practicing over there. They'd have facilities and all of that. And it wasn't until 2023 when it became a reality, delayed because of COVID. But, it's there now. And I love that it came right after soccer winning the Conference USA Championship in their last year in the conference. So great to see. And, another big win in the facilities department for Lisa Campos and the UTSA program.
Yeah, a very clear example of winning gets rewarded, gets its recognition. We know Park West, also one of those things that Roadrunner fans have been waiting a long time to see what was going to happen to that place. And
Right.
the plans and the narrative behind that facility changed so many times. At one
Hmm.
point, it was just sort of just this gosh, this abyss, of just UTSA equipment and land space. Finally, now you've got this field with this home crowd advantage, right? This home field advantage. You have this beautiful bleacher section. You've got the field house there, where you had enormous top city officials there for the grand opening and ribbon ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, but Mike Resco as well, the AAC commissioner, is there for that. That's really an incredible moment for UTSA, from, I think, the way that whole entire unveiling ceremony occurred. Some of the names that they had there and the faces that they had there, for there that to be that much investment in a UTSA Olympic sports facility
Mm-hmm.
opening, semi off campus.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty unfathomable that would ever happen. I think
Yeah.
even whenever we were students there in 2012, 2013, 10 years.
And it was partially funded with taxpayer money too. I mean,
Incredible.
they got money from the city, the county, I'm not sure. But it's not just UTSA, that's all of San Antonio rallying around the Roadrunners, and more to come with that. Hopefully they're going to break ground on Race 2.0 for the basketball and volleyball programs.
That's right.
So hopefully that will be a future Domey nominee. Let's get a shovel in the ground, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a tremendous moment. It's a tremendous
Yeah,
moment.
I agree. Our fourth and final nomination for Best Moment of 2023 is one that, I think might have been underrated a little bit, and that's the inaugural class of the UTSA Athletics Hall of Fame. And when I was younger,
Mhm.
I started to visit more college campuses, and I realized how many schools had Hall of Fames that you could just walk into and see some of their storied letter winners and trophies and stuff like that. And I can't remember which one I was at, what campus it was, but I was like, man, like UTSA will really have made it. They'll really have some tradition when they have their own Hall of Fame to point to. And of
Mhm.
course, right now, it's just 6 men and women or something like that, but that's going to grow over the years. And we're at the point now as a program where annually we can go in and pick, a couple people to recognize, to add to the storied history of this program, and just feel a sense of pride, a sense of belonging. And I hope that even getting nominated will continue to be an honor for the Athletic Letter Winner Society.
So well said, Jared. I mean, so well said. Yes, it's long overdue. UTSA, 100 years, 150 years younger than most of these institutions with these celebrated Hall of Fames. We had to get some people that we could call Hall of Famers underneath
Yep.
our belt first. I think now that UTSA has finally amassed that and been able to open that and open it with not just a respectable class, but I think an extremely honorable class, to be able to have athletes that now, because of that first class, and I shouldn't just say athletes, but names, because of that
Hmm.
first class, that hold a very distinct honor, and designation, that there really is a high degree of accomplishment that comes with that Hall of Fame recognition here at UTSA. I'm glad we didn't just open it and just start throwing people in the Hall of
Right.
Fame, right there whenever we open up a football program. So it was good that we did it with a steady hand, and now we've got a really, really respectable first class that it's going to be hard to follow up. So great job with the Hall of Fame.
I also love the fan building opportunity that it presents. I like to think that there's a boy or girl who's in the third grade right now that's a huge sports fan, that they're going to come to UTSA, and they're going to be the Jared and Adrians of their class at UTSA and be sports fanatics, and get really caught up in all the excitement of being a Roadrunner fan. And they're going to walk through that Hall of Fame, and they're going to learn about Tamika Roberts. They're going to learn about Lynn Hickey.
Mm,
They're going to learn
mm.
about Devin Gibson. They're going to learn about Frank Harris. That's something that's really exciting to me as not only a major sports fan, but also a bit of history nut. So really
Definitely.
exciting stuff, man.
Definitely.
All right,
Well,
Adrian, do you want to do our first winning announcement, our first readout?
the ballots
I
are
didn't do
in.
envelopes this year to pull the name out of the envelope. I'm sorry, but now we can pass it back and forth and take turns announcing winners.
The ballots are in with 59% of the vote. The best moment of 2023 is UTSA football's very first bowl game victory.
No surprise
Congratulations.
there. In my opinion, that's the right pick. All love to baseball. Baseball is going to go on to do bigger and better things, and I hope getting a top 25 ranking in baseball just becomes maybe not an expectation, but something that we've become accustomed to.
I think it's
Um,
just, you know, the significance of the accolade, right? I mean, there's nothing that really comes with earning your first top 25 except for being able to say you earned your first
mhm,
top 25, which is really, really special. But
mhm.
first bowl game victory, it's an end of the season, a postseason accomplishment. It comes with some hardware, and something that, you know, we talked about the importance of it to this fan base,
Right.
how long we waited for it. Yeah, man, it was extremely significant moment for this football program. So yeah, it is. It's the right choice. I think you're correct whenever you say that.
Great. So while the first bowl victory did run away with this selection for the best moment of 2023, our next category, UTSA Athletics Newcomer of the Year, was very closely contested. All four candidates got a good number of votes, and we start off with our first nominee, Antonio Valdez of the baseball program. He was a Baylor transfer. He started at Incarnate Word with Coach Hallmark, transferred to Baylor, came back home to San Antonio to play again with Hallmark at UTSA, and he just instantly took the program to the next level.
Yeah, tremendous. I mean, tremendous. Um, there's a very clear intimidation, I think, whenever Antonio Valdez steps up to the plate to bat.
Mhm.
And the guy was just unbelievable in the most critical of moments for this UTSA team. So instrumental in the success that they had and
One
how
of the
strong
most
they were.
clutch players I've seen for UTSA baseball, probably since like Daniel Rocket. I don't know.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, I mean, the the guy is just incredible whenever you needed him most. And you um got pretty used to counting on him, right? He was
Yeah.
so reliable in all of those moments. Just tremendous here at UTSA. Yeah, I love Antonio Valdez's game, man.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
he finished
good.
the season with a 387 batting average and was named to the All-Region team. So I mean, Texas puts a ton of teams into the regionals every year. You know, you got great programs all up and down the state. So getting on that All-Region team is a huge accomplishment.
Mhm.
Next up is one of my personal favorites, Mia Sorensen from the volleyball team. Huge transfer portal win for the volleyball team. Mia came in. She had a great freshman season at, I think, at Toledo is where she was at as a freshman. Came to UTSA, immediately becomes a starter. She led the team in kills with 337. She won second team all conference honors as a true sophomore.
Mhm.
And I mean, you could just see the level of athleticism that Mia brought to that outside hitter position was something that the program had desperately been missing. You know, I grew up in the generation of fan that saw those volleyball teams that had like 6'3" Eastern European sluggers on both sides of the net as outside hitters and just crushing balls. So we got back to that a little bit with Mia. She's fun to watch. Great teammate, always cheering for the other girls after every point, and just part of the reason why I started to follow volleyball closely again, like I used to. So I'm on a personal level very thankful to Mia for bringing the energy back into the program.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He was single-handedly, I think, um, been responsible for throttling a lot of that energy, a lot of the breath back into UTSA volleyball, right? A program that knows something about being successful. And so it's good to see them coming back to that.
Hmm.
And Mia is really, you watch her and it's just dominating. It's imposing on the floor. It's like she's a level of athlete that I don't feel like we've really seen on the volleyball team before.
Not
And
in a
maybe,
while.
yeah, at least not in a while, right? And she really, really stands out right now, of course, but she's doing it and she's doing it for the team, and I think at a higher level too. But you watch her out there, I mean, 6'4", just imposing and such a nose for the ball, does all the right things. And like you say, a captain out there. Really, really, you see the rest of the team sort of rally around her. You see her being a commanding voice out there whenever they're playing. And so the leadership is very apparent with me
Yeah, she's got a crazy level of maturity on the court as a sophomore, and I think
for an
she's like a
underclassman.
neuroscience
Yeah.
major or something like
Mhm.
that. She's like super brilliantly smart.
Yeah.
Easy athlete to root for sure. Next up, Carlton Linkard, San Antonio guy, men's basketball. Been a while since we had a basketball player nominated for much of anything in the Domeys, to be honest with you guys. 7-footer made a huge impact and he's still doing it. I feel like basketball kind of gets to squeeze a little bit when it comes to the Domeys because we're cutting the season in half, half of the previous season and half the current season.
Mhm.
So even with what we've seen from Carlton, just in his first year here at UTSA, he's definitely done enough to be nominated for sure.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think we all knew that the talent was there for Carlton, coming over
Mhm.
from Kansas State,
Well,
but
I don't know if I did, man. Because
you
like
weren't
in my
convinced.
mind, he's 7 foot. He's at Kansas State, never sees the court. Comes to UTSA, he has to sit out a year for eligibility reasons.
Sure.
I'm like, I don't know. I was a little doubtful because didn't seem like a guy that have a ton of offensive game, and I was just dead wrong about that. He really is a difference maker.
I think, yeah, we were just talking about this whenever on our National Signing Day episode, a similar situation to this. A guy transfers from a school like a Kansas State where the basketball room is just going to be so crowded with talent. I mean, sure,
Hmm.
you got to imagine even a guy that might be at the bottom half of it in the Kansas State locker room is probably still head and shoulders above what most of the UTSA locker room looks like,
Right.
right? I mean, it is just the facts. So yeah, he came in here, but he was able to be a commanding presence right away. And look, he wasn't able to see the court, but he was able to sort of play with the team and familiarize himself with the team during that season that he had to sit out. And so maybe that helped a little bit too. Um,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
I wonder if he just worked on a shot that whole year that he set out, and that's why his offense has been at least a surprise to me. I don't know if people that have known him for a while expected this kind of output.
well, I think with a lot of turnover on a team like UTSA's basketball team, a guy with a little bit of continuity, even though he didn't see the floor, he's been with the program for
Sure.
more than 1 year, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's this guy you got to rely on.
Yeah. So as of now, he's averaging 10.2 points per game, shooting a respectable 347 from three, which for a 7-footer, I'll take any day. Uh, 5.8 rebounds per game, and he had a season high of 31 against Tulane.
Mm, mm.
It's nice to be surprised by a basketball player for sure. All right, last nominee, Adara Udo, a true freshman on the women's basketball team. Wow, has she been unbelievable?
Yeah.
And for her defense is really what's surprising to have a freshman come in and have that physicality, that kind of basketball IQ on the floor. It seems like she's got great anticipation, especially when it comes to the blocks. I'm pretty sure that she leads the team in blocks, and she had a block that won a game against New Mexico State, if I remember correctly. Just I feel like it's so rare for a freshman to be that polished on defense already.
It really is, man. I mean, polished, but also really aggressive, knows
Hmm.
how to be.
Yeah,
And a lot of times, that's a really hard balance to strike is to like be disciplined but also aggressive. But yeah, I mean, she's just unbelievable on both sides of the floor. What is it? 26 points against
hmm,
Charlotte in double overtime to take them
yeah, hit
down.
the game winner too.
Yeah, I mean, just filthy stuff, man. She really deserves so much credit, a force to be reckoned with, dude. Someone I'm very excited to continue watching play for UTSA and developing, man. I mean, who knows how our game will continue to improve.
Yeah, definitely, man. She starts hitting those, 10-foot jumpers, hit it from the elbow and stuff like that. It's really going to open up the whole offense. Get her some NIL money, man. Karen
Yeah,
Hasson's going to need to hold on to her. She's got a
for
lot of good
sure,
freshmen, a lot of good
for
freshmen.
sure.
There's going to be a lot of teams sticking their nose around in San Antonio. So definitely go out there and support the NIL collectives. Well, without further ado, UTSA Athletics Newcomer of the Year award with 36.7% of the vote
Mm.
goes to Antonio Valdez, the 1-year phenom.
Oh gosh. Oh, say it ain't so. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
speaking of 1-year phenom, I like really debated putting Cam Alexander on here.
I
I
think it
didn't
would have
do
been
it.
fair.
It would have been fair,
I think it would have been fair.
but if
But
he
you may have had
didn't,
another.
if
Mm,
he didn't transfer, I don't think I would have put him on there. So that's why I didn't do it.
okay.
What a great group, though. I mean, you got four different sports here, four great newcomers. Great to see. And there are so many girls from the women's team that could have got that spot. But Adara's caught my eye the most. All right, moving along to our next category, Team of the Year. We've already
Yes.
talked about most of these programs. We'll start off with our first nominee, volleyball. So like I said earlier, I mean, they're just fun to watch for the first time in years. That program really bottomed out for a while bit after being really strong for quite some time, in the I guess mid 2010s, somewhere around there.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
they finished with a 15-15 record this year, but just like the excitement around the team, like Adrian mentioned, the level of athleticism, not just for Mia, but I think for the whole roster, has increased. And you're seeing where UTSA can win in the transfer portal. They had a lot of Power Five players come in. They're starting to recruit internationally better than they have in quite a while. Going on another international trip where I'm sure they'll be doing some scouting. So great year for volleyball. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add on to that, Adrian.
I think it's, I mean, the improvement in a single season as well. You talk about a program that just won eight
Hmm.
of their matches. Uh, in 2022, you nearly double that win total in 2023 to 15 games, and you go to 500. It's really impressive to have that immediate of a turnaround. And so I think that trend is only going to continue for this team.
Yeah, to be completely honest, I think it's too quick to judge Coach Price to rock after her first year. I was like, I don't know, because I think we got spoiled. All of these Liz Campos' hires have just hit the ball out of the park, in year one. But volleyball, that roster was really thin when it comes to talent. So, in hindsight, it makes sense to have that kind of year zero to build back up. And then I think they're going to get back into the winning record this year. We'll see how it goes.
Well,
SMU
and
dominated the AAC last year, and they'll be gone. So that's going to open up a lot of
sure.
opportunities.
Well, most of their wins came in the way. Well, their wins that they improved upon came by way of conference games. They only won three conference games in 2022. So we're getting better at the level that we need to be getting better
Hmm.
at as well.
Yeah, good point.
But I think you make a really good point that there's a lot of turnaround that had to happen. I think it's impressive that they managed to even go 500 this year. I
Right,
don't think that would have been in anyone's play card.
right. Adrian, you want to talk a little bit about our next nominee, the football team? What, well, I guess, like, what to give you some specific, what stood out to you or impressed you the most about the team in this 9-win season?
This is the first year that this team really had to deal with real, true adversity on field. You had a lot of issues as far as injuries go in the 2021 and 2022 seasons. And so, yes, there was adversity in that regard, but still UTSA was winning their football games um week in and week out, double digit win totals. And something about not having to lose at all. Everything's just going so good all the time. Just didn't even feel real. 2023, this team lost. It felt like for the first time in a really, really long time, UTSA football fans and UTSA football players had to understand what losing was like.
Hmm.
And that's what this team had to go through. And I don't think a lot of people, man, maybe the locker room is not included, but a lot of people in the audience were not convinced that this was going to be a very successful season at the end of September.
I think
But
we were both in that boat.
at the end of the day, Jared, it ended up being a phenomenally successful season. We only lose one conference matchup. You're in the play-in game for the conference championship, exactly like you needed to be in the last game of the
Hmm.
regular season. You really couldn't ask for more from this team. They played incredible. They overcame horrible football in September to end up playing the real true Roadrunners football that we grew to know and love underneath the Jeff Traylor tenure here. And so yeah, I was just really impressed with that resiliency, I think, from this team to weather that
Hmm.
storm.
Yeah, and just to add on to that a little bit, I really was impressed with the way the team kind of reinvented itself throughout the season. if you look back to UTSA's previous 2 seasons where they waltzed to a conference championship, they did it strictly by offense and passing offense for the most part. But in 2023, you get the Frank Harris injury. The running back room emerges when everyone thought that was going to be a weakness, emerges as a true strength of the team. The defense took a huge step forward. Just Leb's best defense, I think, since he's gotten here. And they were able to lean on those two, on the defense and that running back unit, to kind of carry them through some of those choppy waters with Frank Harris, struggling with his health. And we got a preview of what UTSA football might look like without Frank Harris. So 2024 is a lot less intimidating than it would have been for me had Frank been healthy for 13, 14 games, whatever.
Mhm.
And UTSA just kind of sleepwalks through the conference and everything like they did the previous 2 years, and then you're just kind of left wondering what this team is going to look like without Frank. So we got a little taste of it, and it's going to be different for sure. But the offense was completely adequate, and at times will look really great without Frank. So, and even if there is that kind of backslide for the offense, it's clear the defense is taking steps further every year, and they'll be able to kind of balance out the team a little bit.
Yeah, I gave a lot of confidence to the Roadrunners being able to transition into the future smoothly, no
Mhm.
doubt.
Our third nominee is the men's tennis team. What a
Mm,
tremendous season for men's tennis. I think tennis, the way that it's like governed in the collegiate level is a little bit different from other sports. And I think maybe people didn't really understand the level of success that men's tennis was having. But not only were they the conference runner-up in Conference USA, they lost a super strong Middle Tennessee squad in the conference championship. But then the doubles team of Alan Magadon
mhm.
and is it Thiago Torres? I can't remember who his partner was.
So when Sebastian
Well,
Rodriguez?
yeah, I think it was Sebastian Rodriguez. Yep. They
Yes.
go on to what is essentially like the NCAA tournament of tennis. I think it's called the ITA. They
Mhm.
beat NC State in that opening round and lost to Texas in that round of 16, but they put up a good fight against Texas. It would be the equivalent of the men's basketball program going and playing Duke in the round of 32 after beating a 5 seed or a 4 seed in basketball or something like that. So tremendous
Yeah,
season for men's tennis, and I'm sure they're going to run it back once again.
unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable season for the men's tennis team, and I think we highlighted all the names that really needed to be highlighted there. But yeah, Thiago Torres,
Mhm.
Sebastian Rodriguez, Alan Magadan, really leading the way for this program. But now for a couple of years, it's really, really special stuff what they've been able to put together. But this last season, that run that they had, and then going to the NCAA doubles championships and winning a game, winning a match against NC State, that was tremendous. So
Mhm.
yeah, big hats off to men's tennis this year.
Yeah, keep an eye on women's tennis this year. They're off to a hot start. They're like 8-1 right now. They just beat an undefeated A&M Corpus Christi team in Corpus. So who knows? They might be
Mm,
on the Domey list next year if they keep this up.
love
Our
that.
fourth and final nominee for Team of the Year is the baseball team. Of course, had to get a nomination. Like we said, that first top 25 ranking in program history. A ton of big wins, a ton of big series wins. Finished the season with 38 wins. Fell just short of hitting 40 wins for the first time, but
Mm.
the progress was tantalizing.
Yeah, 21-8 in conference. Really impressive throughout the entire season until the very bitter end. This baseball team was, they were on the warpath after the way that they went out in 2022. And I think that they excelled. I think the 2023 team was better than the 2022 team. I think this program improved year to year in that regard as well. It was a fantastic year with a lot of great moments for UTSA baseball, man.
Mhm.
Um, just tremendous stuff from Hallmark.
Most baseball I've watched in years. I can't even tell you the last time.
Yeah, you really made it a point to try to get to your even your phone stream going
Right.
whenever they were on. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Lot of Fridays last spring. My little love seat couch is right behind me, and I would just post up with my Conference USA or ESPN Plus stream up on my laptop and get my weekend started watching the Friday game. So look forward to
Yeah.
bringing that back here in just a couple weeks.
Highly enjoyed watching the team live, getting down to Rice Ballpark and being able to see them
Mhm.
there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of opportunity to see the team in Houston this year for our fellow Houston alumni. catch me at the Sugarland Classic here in 2 weeks.
Let's go.
All right, Adrian, will you want to announce our winner for Team of the Year?
Yes. So a 50.5% vote. The team of the year for 2023 is UTSA football, of course, the fan favorite. Jared, your thoughts?
My personal vote was for men's tennis,
I
but
think that's fair.
like I agree with the first bowl victory being the moment of the year, but I think men's tennis was the team of the year.
Men's tennis had a bigger accomplishment
Right,
than what football did.
right,
Football won a bowl game, sure, but I think winning a game in the winning a match in the NCAA tournament for tennis was, I think, significantly more weighted than that.
right. And they were ranked really highly all season long as well.
Right. The overall success
So,
of the year, they were good throughout, very consistent program. Yep. Yep.
right. So, I do think men's tennis got stumped a little bit, but the football team is very deserving. I'm not gonna hold it against the voters by any means.
No. Baseball came in second place with 33% of the vote. So I like to see some votes there as well. Baseball did have a fantastic year as well. I'm glad to see them get some recognition. But yeah, I would agree with you, Jared. I think men's tennis, was the most successful UTSA program. And
Hmm.
ultimately that should be the team of the year.
Yeah. All right, next up, game of the year.
Oh,
And
baby.
starting things off, our first nomination, baseball going on the road to Bluebell Park in College Station and defeating the Texas A&M Aggies 5-1 in a weekday contest.
Dude.
They smoked them. They were up 5-0 in the top of the third.
Yeah, they did smoke them. They did smoke them. It was almost a donut. So close to being a donut, man. But yeah, really, really tremendous stuff from UTSA. To do it in A&M, to do it in College Station, it was mind blowing, man. It was really impressive to watch that game. But yeah, you talk about utter domination. UTSA had it that night, dude. Just had
Uh,
it that night.
I'm laughing. Maybe this explains some of the late season slowdown from the team, but I completely forgot that they brought Luke Malone in out of the bullpen to finish off the Aggies at College Station on like a
Unreal,
Tuesday game.
unreal,
Oh
unreal.
man, I love it, dude. Hallmark's a competitor, man. He wants the feather in his cap. He wants that big name.
It was the first SEC win for UTSA baseball
What? No
ever in
way.
program
Ever?
history. Yes,
God, that's crazy.
UTSA earns first SEC win over Texas A&M.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. And it was Yuli Quiroga on the mound for his fifth win of the season, two scoreless innings, two strikeouts. Roadrunners win that game and improve to 25-8 on the season.
Hmm.
Golly, what a start to the year. Really impressive stuff.
Yeah. I think they got ranked after the first week of conference play, because I think a ranked Charlotte came to the bird bath and UTSA swept them. I think that's when they got ranked. So wasn't too long after that A&M win.
Mhm.
Our next nominee, we've talked about this game a lot already, but the Frisco Bowl victory over Marshall, obviously got to be in there.
Yep.
I'll tell you what,
Owen.
that first quarter, that first half, even not a nominee for game of the year,
No, that's a
but
good point, Jared. Yeah, that's a good point. It was a hard fought win,
it was. It was a
but
comeback. It wasn't
but
easy.
could go down in the UTSA annals as the coronation of Owen McCown. I mean,
Could
the
be.
handing of the baton, right?
Yeah.
So, it certainly seemed that way. Let's see.
Yep, you got a taste of it, that Tennessee game, but the Frisco Bowl was his first start. We'll see what happens. Could be, legacy defining if all
Mm,
goes well.
mm.
All right, next up is women's basketball, probably their biggest win of the year, going on the road and beating Middle Tennessee. They're ranked 21st in the country for that game. I was not watching that one. I don't have a lot of recollection of it. I don't know if you have any highlights to point out. Oh, I'm sorry. It was not on the road. It was at home. See, that's how you know I didn't watch it. Why am I
Mm.
nominating stuff if I didn't watch the game?
Brutal, brutal. Yeah, no,
Jordan
that one
Jenkins, double double, 20 points, 16 rebounds.
is
Alyssa
Jordan
Coleman, 18
Jenkins.
points. Yep.
Jordan Jenkins double to take down a ranked. Really, really impressive stuff from a women's basketball team that I don't think anyone expected it from. Besides those of us that have been watching UTSA women's basketball now for USAR.
I
But
think
yeah,
everyone
Jordan
knew the
Jenkins,
potential was there, but they just seemed to constantly be ahead of schedule a little bit, considering how much of a rebuild it was when Coach Aston got here.
that was like the moment where I think other teams had to get put on notice of what's brewing
Yeah.
at UTSA.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the game recap on ESPN right now, and it was a pretty big fourth quarter win for the ladies. Middle
Hmm.
Tennessee was favored to win 83% win probability at the start of the fourth quarter.
Wow.
And UTSA ends up winning by 6. Lastly, we talked about this a little bit, but men's tennis beating NC State in the NCAA championship round of 32. Tremendous, tremendous stuff. One of the biggest accomplishments, definitely of any athletics program for UTSA. Alan Magadon, Sebastian Rodriguez, tip of the hat. Talked about them quite a bit already.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah, I love
also
it.
say, before we announce the winner, this is another category that was very evenly split. The winner
Yeah.
only took it by 4 points, and
Wow.
every nominee got at least a 17% share of the vote.
Wow. Wow. Incredible. So the audience very torn on the game of the year.
They really were.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, last place got 16 votes out of 96, so pretty good showing. But without further ado, the Domey goes to Frisco Bowl victory over Marshall. It's not a, yeah, pretty much a clean sweep for football because they did not have a nominee for Newcomer of the Year. We'll see if anyone is able to unseat the football team's domination in the Domies.
I mean, it's the bowl games domination. They win best moment and they win game of the year. And so a lot of people just really, really in love with that bowl win, enamored with that bowl win. I know it's
Sure.
highly coveted for
We're
the
a football
fan base.
school, it is what it is.
I think the baseball's win over the Aggies has to be the game of the year for UTSA athletics. That's going to be my personal vote. I think that's just an unbelievable accomplishment to do that in College Station.
Yeah, I'll feel you. I just think midweek baseball games are kind of
Anything can
fly by the seat
happen.
of your pants. Anything can
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, sure.
Like UTSA beat #1 Baylor with a freshman on the mound one year. Yeah, it's baseball is just funny like that. No baseball team in college baseball goes undefeated, and it's very common for these power programs to have uncharacteristic losses midweek. So a lot of fun. They smoked them. Super competitive game and all of that. But for me, men's tennis winning that opening round in the championship is hard to top.
I'll give that to you. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the most significant win on this list for sure.
All right, our next category, athlete of
Oof.
the year. I will say that when I told Adrian and Aaron the vote distribution and winner of this one, some harsh words were exchanged. Some upset fans for sure, but I guess we shouldn't be surprised. Our first nominee, Cameron Carry-On, women's golf, NCAA regional champion, shot 10 under par at the regional in San Antonio. She
Unbelievable.
went on and missed the final cut to go to the NCAA championship by a mere 2 strokes. She's back at UTSA for a super senior season, and she's coming for the crown,
Wow.
man. Nothing
Wow.
will surprise me with Cameron. She's first team all conference. Crazy
Unreal,
year for
man.
her.
Unreal, man. Cameron Carreon, the regional championship win is just an astounding moment for UTSA golf, which is a program that has had a lot of investment into it. That UTSA has really,
Mhm.
really been focused on improving and getting better and better. And man, I mean, this is just unbelievable. The hometown kid, Cam Carreon, straight out of SA. She's brutal as you could get. And I honestly, Jared, at the rate that she's going and will eventually get onto the professional golf circuit, by way, I think, of the opportunities that this sport is going to bring her. I could see you, Karen Carreon. I could see her being UTSA's most successful professional athlete at the next level, long term. And she's just been incredible here for UTSA, man. Big shout out to Cam.
Absolutely. We've talked a lot about Alan Magadan, also nominee for Athlete of the Year. He was first team all conference, and of course, he was part of that doubles team that made it to the round of 16 and the doubles championship for the NCAA. He's from the Valley. Actually went, I think, Tyler JUCO before he came to UTSA, and has just been phenomenal here. He's back for another year as well. I think he's won all of his matches this year. I could be wrong about that. But just tremendous, tremendous athlete, represents UTSA extremely well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where to
Fantastic
start
stuff.
with our third nominee for Athlete of the Year, Frank Harris. He won in 2021. He won in 2022. Got to nominate him for 2023, his final year as a Roadrunner. And stay tuned for more of Frank Harris on this podcast. Passed for 2,506 yards, 18 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, rushed for 323, and ends his career at UTSA with about 500 wins. I don't know, something like that. Set every record at UTSA, broke every record. He goes down as a 210 legend for life.
Mr. San Antonio, King of San Antonio, will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, I think, for both UTSA and the city of San Antonio Hall of Fame. The guy is just the epitome of class, the epitome of what you want from a quarterback, from a team leader, from someone that represents your team and your university. He's done a great job of representing UTSA, made an entire nation, I think, of football audience
True.
enamored with his game, with him as a
Yep.
player, and with the UTSA Roadrunners. No Frank Harris. There's no meet meep on college game day on week one, the opening college game day episode of the college football season. I think what he's done from a recognition standpoint to this university, you really cannot measure in dollars and cents, what he's done for us. Thank goodness we gave him some NIL dollars. Probably
Well,
wasn't enough to what he's given to this university.
yeah, let's not forget Alma Audible was his first NIL deal.
Facts. And shout out to
And
everybody that bought the original Frank Harris
yeah,
logo
still
t-shirt
our best-selling merch item of all time.
from the Teespring.
Great
Yeah,
NIL
man.
success.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
Adrian, he said there's no way that you can measure or count his contribution to this program. True, but we will be able to measure and count the NIL money that he will be raising for this athletics department with his new position with 210 City fans. So
Mm.
his impact will carry on, hopefully for a very, very long time.
Shout out to Frank Harris, Mr. San Antonio,
Shout out to
King of
Frank
San
Harris.
Antonio. Man.
Our fourth and final nominee for Athlete of the Year, someone I'm surprised we've only mentioned her once on this podcast, I think, so far. But Jordan Jenkins for women's basketball had an absolute revelation of a year. I mean, this is an athlete at the top of her game, nationally elite, was playing with the best of the best and dominating. Comes to UTSA, instantly becomes Conference USA Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, first team all conference. She's actually the third player in Conference USA history, and Conference USA has been around for a long time, to win all three of those awards in her first year.
Wow.
Absolutely tremendous. Led Conference USA in points with 659, averages out to 20.6 points per game for a post player. And
What else? What else can you say, Jared? I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. She essentially came into Conference USA like LeBron James came into the
yeah,
National
dude.
Basketball Association, just took over, dominated. I mean, absolutely reigning queen of CUSA of basketball right off of the jump whenever she got onto the floor. Just unbelievable set of accolades. The Triple Crown, Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, First Team All Conference. It's filthy. It's filthy. Led the league in points. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? I just feel like we've got robbed of an opportunity to see her play with this year's squad. It doesn't look
Uh,
like she's going to come back this year. Still nursing that knee injury.
yeah.
But man, it's crazy to think of how good this team could have been this year if Jordan was fully healthy. Anyway, Adrian, go ahead and read it off for us. Who is our athlete of the year for the 2023 Domeys?
By a margin of 7 votes for the third consecutive year in a row, the athlete of the year for 2023 is UTSA football's starting quarterback, Frank Harris. Unbelievable stuff, man. What a run. Absolute, just, we worship Frank Harris, build the statue. He is absolutely everything to this university. I mean, I don't know what UTSA could possibly do to repay this man
Yeah.
for what he's done for them. It should, I mean, gosh, it should be the Frank Harris Roadrunner Athletic Center of Excellence. Name the building after him. Name the facility after him.
I don't know if the Domies are ever going to have a three-time winner for any category ever
Never.
again.
Besides, I think there's one other 3 or 4 time winner, and that's meme of the year, right?
Bootleg, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. We'll
fair.
see if his streak continues this year. But an actual UTSA athlete winning that many in a row for or moment or program, no, I don't think so, Jared. I don't think it could ever happen.
But man, I hate it for Cameron. Absolutely hate it for Cameron. I thought Cameron was the easy choice.
It's highway robbery, Jared. It's absolutely highway robbery. And it's not like Frank Harris doesn't deserve it, but Cameron deserves it more. And she just deserves it so much more. What she was able to accomplish winning the NCAA regional, complete domination from start to finish of the season. I mean, it's unfathomable how well she's played at the top level, Jared, of collegiate golf. We're not just talking about dominating at the AAC level, right?
Hmm.
I mean, she's doing it against the biggest and best schools, the biggest and best budgets in the country. And Cameron Cardion, homegrown, San Antonio's own, is doing it with Rowdy on the visor. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And I think it's highway robbery for her to not win Athlete of the Year.
Well, the good news is all three of our runner-ups will have the opportunity to win this award in the future. All three of them are back for another year at UTSA. I assume Jordan's going to be back for a second year after this one, since it looks like she'll be taking a
Sure.
medical redshirt, I assume. Man, but it's tough. But what a great group of athletes, these four, man. I mean, one of these, this guy, he was the clear number four, and he won a game in the NCAA championships. I mean, God, he was spoiled.
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
like we said, the balance of the achievements of the athletic department this year, phenomenal.
And a triple crown from a freshman in basketball is just gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's you could make the argument, I think, 4 different ways, and I would be okay with it.
Yeah, I think all could win. If you were to take any four of these and their achievements and take it back 5 years, all four of them would have been the leading candidate, most likely.
100% yes.
Okay. I shifted topics on you real quick. I don't know if you saw that in
I
our
did see that. I'm
draft.
totally freaked out now. Yeah,
Oh
I
no,
see
sorry.
that.
Just because I figured we can just keep
It
all
makes
the
more
athletic
sense.
stuff.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah,
more
yeah.
sense. It
And
makes
then we'll
more
do
sense.
non-athletics after that. Play of the year is always a fun one to put together, but a hard one too, because I don't know, my brain just doesn't always work where I remember like individual plays that much. Like if I talk about a game, I'll remember some stuff, but it's
Sure.
hard for me to think, what are the four plays that stood out in my mind? So thank you to the friends and followers who helped me put together some of these nominations. First up is a play that Dan nominated. I'd completely forgotten about. I put it on the forum. It got some votes, and then I'm preparing for the podcast, and I went and found the video of this play, and my jaw dropped. This is Caleb Hill and Leighton Berry's double play against Houston Christian at the Bird
Mhm.
Bath, and this play went a little viral on social media.
Yeah.
Caleb Hill was in left field, had a running, diving, leaping catch of a fly ball up there in the gap. Gets up off his knees, slings it into Leighton Berry, relays it to first base to double up the runner before the runner was able to tag back up, and just an absolute web gem, man. Phenomenal stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a absolutely mind-blowing highlight. Incredible feat of athleticism, the reaction time on both of those, and the coordination to go from one to one. I remember seeing it go viral on social media back whenever I had my Twitter account. And
Oh
that
no,
was
I forgot about your Twitter account. We used to have a category like worst moments of the year, and
oh man,
we
I would
didn't
have
do it this year. We should have done Adrian losing his Twitter account
landslide win. I would have wanted a
landslide.
landslide. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All right, we'll keep it moving. Both of our football player of the year are run after the catch by wide receivers. First one is
Mm,
Tyke Ogle-Kellogg's touchdown against Tennessee and Rocky Top. And very impressive play from just a football perspective, physicality perspective, but also, I guess, like the meaning behind it of the Tennessee kid coming back home, had a chance to go to Tennessee, made some mistakes, ends up at UTSA, ends up having a great super senior season, solid career, and then to get that touchdown catch with his friends and family there in Neyland Stadium is a very, very cool moment, and definitely deserved for a guy who went through a lot to get to that point in his life.
yeah. It was really, really cool. You know, you love those really small little storylines, those subplots that
Hmm.
happen.
That's what makes sports fun, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. It was tremendous. Yeah, it was a 43 yarder from Tyke Ogle Kellogg from Owen McCown.
Hmm. Our other wide receiver touchdown catch is Josh Stevens' 84-yard touchdown against East Carolina. Longest touchdown reception in UTSA program history. And
Hmm.
it's kind of funny because it just looks like a routine play for Josh. And I think that's what makes it so amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's fantastic because Jared is very affectionately always referred to Josh and correctly, I might add, accurately as the Yak God. And he does just that. And I think it's pretty cool for him to, um, have these record-setting sort of touchdown catches and then be just, you know, a small little route where he catches ball maybe 5 or 6 yards downfield and ends up picking
And
up
it's gone,
75, 85 more with his feet.
barely
Uh,
breaking a sweat.
yeah, just tremendous stuff. Yeah, untouched in a lot of these cases. Also speaks volumes to UTSA's ability to block downfield, and we always got to see that on a lot of the successful runs that Joshua Cephas had.
Hmm.
But it is his ability to cut and see the right running lane and then commit to that proper running lane.
Hmm.
Always something nice to watch, and I think an attribute that's a lot more rare than we might realize.
Sure.
But really has separated Josh into being, I think, that next level receiver has been his yards after catch ability,
Hmm.
more so than just his catching ability.
Hmm. Our fourth nomination is definitely the play that had the biggest difference on win-loss record for any program, and that is Josh Colleen's game-tying grand slam against Dallas Baptist. Freaking moonshot.
Mm, yeah, tremendous moment. Um, Very validating. It was a moment that we needed. Uh, I was watching it, and DBU had our number, and they had
Hmm.
our number either way. Despite it, but it was a moment that did feel very, very gosh, vindicated maybe.
Sure.
Just kind of felt like, yeah, no, we are forced to be reckoned with.
Hmm.
You're gonna have to work for it. So
Well, Agent, for the first time in Domey's history,
wow.
this award ends in a dead tie.
Wow. 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 The
39
first
votes
the
for
first
both.
tie.
The first tie in Domey's history. I thought about it like, should we make an executive decision and bump one as the winner? Should we do a revote? Should we do a Twitter poll? And I was like, no, they both stand.
They both stand. They both get the Domey. The Domey is split.
It is split. Both Josh Cephas and Josh Colleen will be going home with half a Domey in their hand.
Beautiful.
Congrats to the two Joshes.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. You know what else I noticed, Jared? The two football plays, the two touchdown catches, albeit they were very yak heavy, but both delivered on the passing arm of Owen McGowan.
Owen threw that ECU one?
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm getting that one confused with the bowl game, with the
Okay.
bowl game
Okay.
yak,
Okay.
the bowl game yak catch. No, that was Frank's. Frank had a
Yeah,
that
that's
was
what I
Frank
thought.
at
That's what I
ECU.
thought. All right. Well, we now shift into our final two categories, non-athletics or semi-athletics, I guess. Next one is the top non-athletic moment of 2023. We got the grand opening of San Pedro 1, UTSA's newest building downtown, just a couple blocks away from, the traditional downtown campus, right there on San Pedro Creek. Beautiful building. I mean, as an alum, it just fills me with pride to be in downtown and see that gorgeous, gorgeous building right there on the San Pedro Creek, and I think it does a lot for that side of downtown as well.
Yeah. Um, that's that's tremendous. The School of Data Science, I
Hmm.
think
Yep.
UTSA has really put a lot of resource, attention, time into creating this data science and to really developing their IT infrastructure, their IT school or family of schools, right?
Hmm.
And this is really, really, I think, long term, an absolutely critical moment for UTSA as a institution, as an academic institution. Um, Opening up the School of Data Science, I think, was something that's a long time coming, and it has a lot of dominoes that are going to happen after it.
Yeah, one of those dominoes has already fallen, right? Like just this year in 2024, UTSA's announced they're starting a new college with data science, cybersecurity, and AI all together under one roof. Um, just massive, massive, massive move for UTSA. I think it's one of the first in the country, I believe, but UTSA's ability to be on the bleeding edge of where knowledge enterprise, career training, all of that are going just absolutely fills me with pride. And it's just so cool to see. I say this all the time, I'm gonna keep saying it, but in 20 years, a lot of schools that have like law schools and stuff like that right now are gonna wish they have a school like UTSA has with the data science and cybersecurity. And the opening of
Mm.
San Pedro, of giving it a proper home, right there in downtown San Antonio, near startup incubators and stuff like that. Really, really momentous for sure.
Harvard might graduate the best lawyer, but UTSA is going to graduate the kid that writes the AI script that can be your lawyer for just one simple
Yeah.
fee that millions are going to use.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alan Maudwell
incredible stuff.
subscribes to LegalZoom, and I know one day a UTSA grad will be writing the chat bot that we use to figure out how the hell
Easy.
to file a 1099 form or whatever we're struggling with.
Easy. Yeah,
All right, next
awesome.
up, UTSA achieves NRUF eligibility. This one's a little wonky for those that don't know. NRUF, National Research University Funding. Essentially, what this means is you have to clear certain benchmarks of research activity and research funding. And then once you hit those benchmarks, it unlocks a whole bunch of additional funding to really accelerate your research and development, take that to the next level. UTSA was able to do that in 2023. It was one of the big benchmarks that President Amy had set for the university. UTSA cruised past it. Now they're on to bigger and better things, such as pursuing an AAU eligibility membership bid, invite, I don't know, however you classify it. But getting that NRUF was huge, and we're already seeing the effects of that as UTSA continues to secure millions and millions of dollars of funding year in and year out for research activity.
Wow. No, it is. It is a tremendous step for UTSA. It's conquest to get to that very, very top level of the academic side.
Next up, this is a cool one. UTSA and UT Health collaborating to launch the nation's first
Mm.
dual degree that combines medicine and artificial intelligence. And folks, this is going to change lives, literally change lives. It's already happening. Not a UTSA project, but I saw a story this week where someone came up with this tool that scans your skin and it uses AI to look for irregularities of the skin to detect skin cancer. I mean, and you just think of like how that can apply in the world of medicine, where you're essentially just experimenting with stuff to try to get a response and see what works, and then being able to simulate that in a machine learning environment where you can speed things up and avoid costly and dangerous testing on animals and humans to kind of speed past a lot of stuff. Man, it's just really exciting stuff. And once again, UTSA is on the absolute breaking edge of what the rest of our lives are going to be like.
That's absolutely
It's
right.
amazing.
That's absolutely right. This is the cutting edge indeed, Jared. I mean, the very first people that are going to be versed from an academic standpoint, educationally versed in both medicine and artificial intelligence, to be able to build these machines, build these gadgets, have the ideas behind them, design them, put them together,
The
be the ones
patents.
put them to use. Yeah, I mean, this really could flood in an entirely new generation for UTSA. And
Mhm.
fantastic to see the UTSA and UT Health affiliation growing stronger, ever much so.
Yeah, by the year, just get more and more collaboration between those two universities. And I mean, Andrew and I know, guys of our age, there was complete silo between them. It was so weird that, both campuses are just down. Oh, damn, what road is that that connects the two?
The FBI building.
Yeah, past USAA. I've been out of San Antonio for too long, man.
Yeah, no, it's
People are
you're talking about
unsubscribing. Like these
Hosman.
guys are fake
Yeah,
UTSA
you
alum.
go back Hosman behind the Walmart, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I forget the name of the road. But they're so close to each other. It's probably a far bike distance. It's a 10-minute drive. But it just felt like complete opposite worlds. And to be in the same UT system and not take advantage of that was a big miss for a long time for both institutions, I think. And it's so cool to see that has completely flipped the script, and now they partner very closely on a daily basis. It's really great.
Mhm.
All right, last nomination for the non-athletics moment of 2023. This one's under the radar. I think we hinted at it from time to time and in some of our blog posts and podcasts and stuff like that. But when UTSA announced that they were launching a business affairs department with a whole department focused on real estate, they put Veronica Salazar in charge of that. That was a huge
Mhm.
indication that UTSA was going to start making some really serious moves and expanding campus, and selling some of their real estate and looking for public and private partnership development opportunities. And we're starting to see those big time. We know that UTSA is most likely going to sell the Institute of Texas Culture, or something's going to change down there. And I'm just excited, and I'm reading the tea leaves, and I think there's a lot of huge stuff that we're going to see over the next 5 to 10 years that are going to completely shape not only UTSA's presence in San Antonio, but also just what they're able to achieve and how they're able to present themselves to both the national landscape as well as the local community and be a great partner to the city of San Antonio.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is fantastic. And I'm excited to see what this is going to do for UTSA, and for all of our big, grand initiatives that we have behind Taylor Amy's planning, and
Mhm.
UTSA acquiring and swallowing more parcels of real estate throughout San Antonio.
Yeah, the opportunities that UTSA has compared to other universities that are landlocked, that are
Mhm.
in highly developed urban areas, just a lot of limitations that other schools have that UTSA doesn't necessarily face like other schools do. So, the opportunities for growth are astounding. Just can't wait to see what this pulls in the future. Spoiler alert, this category did not win, but I think, like I said, in 5 to 6 years, we come back and we're like, oh dang, that was a BFD, right? But we didn't realize it at the time because it was early.
Well, Jared, top non-athletics moment of 2023.
Take us away, sir.
This is going to go, and this was actually a very rounded vote
Hmm.
here.
Hmm.
But with 35% of the vote, UTSA and UT Health launching the nation's first medicine and AI dual degree. Jared, I think this is deservedly so win here. This is such a tremendous degree, such a tremendous offering for UTSA to be able to have, and such incredible partnership for UTSA and UT Health. So I think the people that this program turns out are really going to be like industry leaders, and it
Mhm.
might be the first time UTSA has industry leaders, especially like in a medical field, and
Mhm.
maybe we're getting there
Mhm.
technology wise, but we'll
Right.
really be there in this regard.
Right. And it's really easy to imagine some really brilliant people just thinking, I want to use AI for medicine, right? Like what schools are doing that? Where can I go to study? And then you just run to Google or you ask an AI chatbot, and it's going to tell you that the only degree in the nation that is doing this right now is a school in San Antonio called UTSA. And they'd be like,
What?
oh, yeah, they were really good at football last year, weren't they?
Oh, that's where that Frank Harris guy went. That's
Yeah.
right, 100%,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, 100%. I love that. Although, Jared, I must admit, it is very difficult, us being big championers of urban development here at Alamo Audible, to not give the W to San Pedro One's grand
Same.
opening. But alas, it did get a very good portion of the vote. So to give you all the vote breakdown, this is really good. 32 votes for the winner, UTSA and UT Health with the medicine and AI dual degree. 30 votes to UTSA achieving NRUF eligibility. And then 26 votes for the San Pedro One grand opening. Really good distribution there.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm with you, Adrian. I personally voted for San Pedro 1, but I think all of these are great options, man. And with San Pedro 2 already underway, I think we'll look past San Pedro 1 soon
Yeah,
enough. And, we'll take it for granted, but it was a huge achievement, no doubt.
no doubt.
And I'm really excited to see that San Pedro Creek project continue to come along and kind of that western edge of downtown just to kind of develop around that UTSA campus expansion is really exciting. All right, Adrian, bringing it to the end of the night, our final award. It's always the last award that we read off, and that is perhaps the most prestigious Domey of all, the meme of the year.
It is the one Domi that is not, in fact, given to UTSA athletes or UTSA athletics, but it is given right back to you, the people, the fans, the listeners, the dome heads. And so it's really, really cool that we're able to have the meme of the year. It's been a highly competitive award for many, many years. There has been a perennial winner, and that is Bootleg Bentley. He has never not lost meme of the year. We
I
will
mean, he's never not won.
sorry, correct. He's never lost. He's never not won meme of the year. We will see if his streak continues here in 2023. Um, meme of the year at one point was so big that we used to have a separate poll just to
Right,
narrow down
right.
which memes were going to make it in a meme of the year. So yeah, it's really, really incredible. It's really incredible, and we'll see how AI changes the meme landscape here.
Yeah, it opens up a
As
lot of
meme of, as
opportunity.
as meme of the year continues over the
The
year.
barrier of entry for meme creation is has decreased significantly,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
disrupting the meme landscape. Okay. First nomination is from OOC UTSA. That stands for Out of Context UTSA. Actually, I believe the first meme finalist, that's not a Twitter post. It's actually an Instagram reel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah.
Maybe a sign of things to come for meme of the year. We'll see. A great reel. It is a mashup of
Yeah.
the scene in The Office where they're carrying the big pot of baked beans and just disaster unfolds. But it's superimposed with men's basketball players entering the transfer portal. Tremendous stuff, man. Absolutely
Yeah.
tremendous.
Yeah. 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 It's the Kevin chili scene. He's carrying his big pot
Yeah.
of chili up the stairs, and right when he makes it onto the office floor, it spills. Yeah, tremendous stuff. And it's, of course, Henson carrying the chili. It's funny, man. That was a really, really, really fantastic meme right there. That was great.
Yeah. It might have been my personal favorite, I think. Next up, this man has been aiming for a spot on the meme of the year finalist board for many years, and I'm
Mm,
pleased to say he finally earned it. That's at Slow Steady Eddie with his UTSA versus Tulane animated preview. I'll be honest with you, I don't really know the source material in this one. It's some anime, but it was solid.
No,
Got
yeah,
nominated,
yeah.
got votes.
Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty tremendous as cinematic even,
It was,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean really really heavy action stuff. There was a lot of emotion I think behind it. I thought this one was awesome, man. Yeah, but yeah, those
The production quality was tip top.
man, those animes again, they're insane, you really get like really true like action scenes from the cartoon. Yeah, no, I'm not sure the context of it myself either, but
Mhm.
I did watch it. I did highly enjoy it. It was competitive. It's like something that gets you like juiced up, even.
Right,
You're a little amped
right.
going into game week against in the play-in game for
The
that.
play in, yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well, our third nomination for meme of the year is the god himself at Bootleg UTSA, the artist formerly known as Bootleg Bentley. Classic riff right here. He's got the African pallbearer casket dancers dancing on the Texas State casket after the Bobcats had their best season in program history, probably since they
Mm,
won the FCS National Championship. They still can't beat UTSA when they're down with an injured quarterback. They still hold the L. Bootleg does his thing once again. And not only do the Roadrunners beat the Bobcats on the field, but we also beat them in the meme contest as well.
it
Just as
happens
critical.
every year. Every year they lose the memes. Every year they lose the football games. Bootleg personally, um, I mean, brings an army of memes to these guys every single time we play them. It's pretty tremendous stuff. But this one really was fantastic to celebrate the win, to celebrate the utter dominance, because we really snatched their hearts this time. And so I think how sweet the win was over a very optimistic Texas State team made the meme resonate even that much harder, right? And made it so that much better. And I think that's so crucial. That's what makes a good meme. Like what we saw with OOC UTSA is what we see with Slow and Steady Eddies, the build up towards the Tulane game,
Mhm.
the debacle that is Steve Henson and the men's basketball transfer portal. It's gotta tie back. It can't just be a really good moment. It's gotta tie to a real good moment that's also happening. And so that's really really well done here with Bootleg's Texas State funeral.
Yep. Agreed. And as a personal fan of bootlegs, one thing that people may not know about him is he has like so many memes that don't even see the public light of day that are A plus plus plus. I mean, he's
Mm,
unstoppable. The work ethic, the turnaround time. If some event happens, he's got a meme ready to go ASAP. Man, he's so good. One of these days, we're gonna rename this award the Bootleg Meme of the Year. But
yeah,
for now, we move on to our fourth and final nominee, Rowdy Hawk, coming through his first nomination. Took the I-35 HEB Showdown, renamed it to the 0-5 Showdown with the crying
yeah.
Jordan meme as always. There was also like an avatar bet on the line with the Texas State fan had to use this meme as their profile picture.
That was
So,
cool.
you got to rub it in their face a little bit. Shout out to Rowdy Hawk. Shout out to Jake. Expecting parent. Congratulations.
That was cool. Yeah, yeah. I like to see some stakes get thrown on the meme battle. We see a little bit of
Mhm.
that thrown on, and so yeah, the to throw what is it to throw insult on top of injury. The
Right.
profile picture,
Right.
the Abby has to be updated and changed to a crying Jordan Bobcat logo. Golly, it's just brutal, man. It's absolutely brutal to be a Texas State Bobcat.
Well, Adrian, I'll go ahead and read out our final category of the night. I know it's been a long night. Thank you guys for hanging in with us. Hope you're watching, hope you're listening and enjoying. And the Meme of the Year award goes to the one, the only
Oh,
Bootleg UTSA. His undefeated streak remains. The people spoke resoundingly in his favor with 63.5% of the vote. That's back to back to back to back victories for Mr. Bootleg. Congratulations. Impeccable work.
Was that 5 in a row, 4 in a row? I mean, did we have a meme of the year in 2019?
We had Tweeter of the Year. Tweeter of the Year turned into Meme of the
Meme of
Year.
the year,
Right.
which bootleg won Tweeter of the year, right?
Right.
It's talks of the hand. That's 5 rings. That's 5 Domeys trophies for bootleg. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable run. Golly, man, what could be said? It really is. It's the bootleg meme of the year. Whenever he's ready to sign off on that becoming the official award title is whenever we'll give it to him. But just incredible run, man. The way he's able to crank them out, all of them consistently high quality. And I think it's the speed of it too. I mean, I don't know how he creates these memes as fast as he does, but he seems to have them almost even before the news comes out. It's like he's got the
I think
meme ready.
I can almost guarantee that he
Inside
does.
sources help him bootleg, and they're like, "Hey, get the meme ready."
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like the night before, just getting a trove of them going. Yeah, incredible stuff, man.
Yeah,
Shout out to
I do
bootleg.
know that quite a few UTSA VIPs are in Bootleg's DMs from time to time for sure.
Mm, tremendous shout out to bootleg. Um, and there you have it, folks. That is the 2023 Domey Awards show. I mean, unbelievable. The fifth annual Domey Awards, Jared, have been dispersed. It is the people's vote, popular vote. If you care, you go and make your vote be heard. You vote or die. It is your vote. You are the one that decides the winners of the Domeys. Man, unbelievable, unbelievable evening.
Well, last year I said that we were going to have a musical guest. Sorry, dropped the ball on that.
We've been wanting to expand it to musical guests, a comedian
A stand-up
opener.
act.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's hard.
It's hard, man. It's hard. Because we got a jam-packed February coming up for you guys. Like we've got 3 or 4 guests lined up or in the works that would definitely be like biggest name guest of the year in most years. So stay tuned. I'm really excited. Adrian, I know you are as well. Before we let you guys go, we do want to say thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers, namely our board of trustees and big money donors. A lot of these folks actually helped out behind the scenes with the Domies and getting this list together. It's a monumental effort. So thank you to everyone who pitched in and lent a hand. That includes Digiteek, John Otwell, Lino Perez of Los Dos Rowdy Tailgating, Gary and Ruben representing the UTSA Burger King Tailgate, Ray Redding and Meet Me Apparel, Brandon Grill in the Grill Realty Group, Andy Elizada Professional Benefit Solutions, Ian McClendon and Secret LLC, Brandon Padron, Ryan Squares, Waterman Construction, Javon Townsend, VP of the DFW chapter of the UTSA Alumni Association, UTSA Annual Giving, Artisan Vapor and CBD, and our big money donors, who include Ben Tovar, the Bunch family, Zach Espedicueta and the San Antonio Podcast Network, Alejandro Benavides, Dan Nerdall, host of Around the Birdbath, who we will be recording a baseball preview with this coming Monday. So
Mm-hmm,
get pumped for that.
mm-hmm.
I guess by the time this video and podcast comes out, that will already be out. So you're kind of getting a message from the past. Anyways,
Right.
check that out if you haven't already. Thank you to Jacob Cavazos, board president for the UTS Alumni Association, John Nally, Brandon Patron, Rick Cortez of Ready Road Grillers, and Home Field Apparel, where you can use discount code UTSA1 Home Field to get 50% off your first purchase. And Adrian, I think that 2024 is the year that UTSA fans get Home Field Apparel merch. I'm manifesting it into the universe. Let's make it
Wow.
happen. And who
Wow.
knows, maybe that might be moment of the year for the 2024 Domies. We'll see.
In the meantime, you can still get UTSA merch at the Alamo Audible Fan
Of
Shop.
course. All right. Well, thank you guys all for listening, for watching. If you're on YouTube, shout out, give us a like, subscribe. And thank you so much to all of our voters. Congratulations to all of our nominees. It's been a pleasure. And we'll see you guys back next year.